it's me. And let's talk about Homunculus, which was serialized in Monthly Shonen Gangan from 2003 to 2008 and collected into 6 volumes. It is written and illustrated by Hideo Yamamoto, who also wrote and illustrated the manga From Another World with Love. That manga was also adapted into an anime. You can check out my video on that here. The story follows Nakoshi, a young man who lives in the seedy underground portion of Tokyo. He has severe anxiety issues and is prone to panic attacks. One day, he meets a mysterious man named Manabu Ito, who recruits Nakoshi to participate in a series of experiments. Ito explains that through these experiments, Nakoshi will be able to see his own darkness, referring to the evil or traumatic thoughts that lurk within all of us. However, it quickly becomes apparent that this is just a front for something much more sinister. After injecting Nakoshi with a hallucinogenic drug, Ito forces him to confront his inner demons, which manifest as terrifying creatures that attack him both physically and psychologically. As the story progresses, Nakoshi is subjected to a series of increasingly horrific experiments that push him to his breaking point. He is forced to confront not only his own inner darkness, but also the darkness that lies within others. Through these experiences, he begins to question his own sanity and the nature of reality itself. I want to focus this video on the first 2 chapters of the Homunculus manga. In Chapter 1, we are introduced to Nakoshi, who is having a panic attack in an underground tunnel. This sets the stage for the story as it establishes Nakoshi's fragile mental state. The underground setting also establishes the overall tone of the story, which is dark, gritty, and disturbing. Then we meet Ito, who seems like a nice guy at first but is later revealed to be a manipulative and dangerous individual. The power dynamic between Ito and Nakoshi is established early on when Ito recruits Nakoshi for his experiment. Nakoshi is desperate for connection and validation, so he agrees despite the risks involved. In Chapter 2, we see Nakoshi being injected with the hallucinogenic drug. This event marks a turning point in the story, as it is the catalyst for the horrors that follow. As the drug takes effect, Nakoshi begins to see the darkness within himself and others. The creatures that represent this darkness are grotesque and nightmarish, reflecting the depths of human depravity. These creatures are not simply external monsters, but manifestations of the inner turmoil and trauma that Nakoshi has been suppressing. One of the most striking images in the chapter is the close-up of one of these creatures, revealing its true form. This creature, which resembles a parasitic organism, is a metaphor for the negative influences that can take root in our minds and control us from within. It is a reminder that the greatest monsters are often those that we cannot see. Another memorable scene is the hallway of mirrors, which serves as a metaphor for the distorted sense of self that Nakoshi is experiencing. As he confronts his inner darkness, his sense of identity becomes fragmented and distorted. The mirrors reflect this fragmentation, creating a disorienting and unsettling atmosphere. Overall, the first 2 chapters of Homunculus are a masterful blend of psychological horror and body horror. Yamamoto's art style is perfectly suited to the story, capturing the grotesque imagery of the creatures and the sense of dread and paranoia that permeates the story. The story's exploration of trauma and the meaning of being whole are thought-provoking and unsettling. By confronting the darkness within ourselves, we come to understand both the fragility of the human psyche and the resilience of the human spirit. Nakoshi is a relatable character despite his flaws, and his struggle to overcome his inner demons is both tragic and inspiring. The ending of Chapter 2 leaves the reader on a cliffhanger, desperate to know what will happen to Nakoshi as he continues to be subjected to Ito's experiments. There are definitely some parallels between Homunculus and Parasyte. Both stories deal with the invasion of body snatchers and body horror. Parasyte leans more into the action, sci-fi thriller aspect, while Homunculus focuses more on the psychological aspect of body horror. Homunculus was serialized before Parasyte, so it's possible that Kazue Kato, the author of Parasyte, may have been influenced by Homunculus. Both mangas were also published in Kodansha's Young Animal magazine, which could suggest a shared audience and influence. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. What other mangas would you like me to cover? Thanks for watching. I'm the host. Catch you next time.